Guys, if you clicked on this channel, you probably got a Ballista Bat and want to know how you can put your quiver on it. Well, this morning I made me a quiver, so let's go in the shed and I'll give y'all some details on how I made it for about $10. Well, good morning, guys. Welcome back to Papaw's place. As always, if this is your first time here, thanks for dropping in. Feel free to drop in anytime you feel, my friend. Guys, today I got a dip in my mouth. And I'm going to keep it in there. But today I got out here this morning and I made me a quiver for my mini Ballista Bat here. Now, I had showed on a recent video a while back how I had planned on doing this, and even told Ballista Bat that they need to make a quiver for these little bows, and showed them the idea on the video of how I was going to do mine to give them an idea. It holds 4 arrows and they come out at an angle which you can shoot your bow good. Nothing's in the way, because they're going in at an angle, but yet they ain't sticking out too far because they ain't out past the limbs of the bow. Now, I don't know about y'all, for something I made in about 15 minutes, it looks pretty factory made. And I'm going to get y'all up here close and show y'all exactly what I used and how I did that. I mean, I don't really care what they come out with now. This right here is all this one ever get, because it looks good, fits good, still got everything that came on the bow on here. Now, you couldn't run this if you wanted to try to do bow fishing, because then you would need to put your attachment under here for your rail and your bow fishing, so it wouldn't work for that. But I probably won't never do no bow fishing. I ain't never done it before. I can see where that would be fun, but for what I do, I wanted mine, because I was toting these arrows. Now, if you just shooting practice points, yeah, you can just stick them in your back pocket or in your overall side pocket right here. But with little broadheads on there, even when I stick them in my overall side pocket, when you start trying to get them out, you can't get them out. They hanging in your pocket. Plus they poking you in your leg and everything else. So I had to come up with me something. So again, let me get y'all up here close. I'm going to turn the bow upside down. So what I started out with was a quiver. Basically just like that, except it wasn't camouflage. But it was a different brand. It even had the little rubber arrow holder here, one that's up high. We'll look at the bow here in a minute. It's the reason I used it instead of this one. Now, I've had these things laying around. I'm sure back in the day, Walmart's put them on clearance. I probably didn't give $2 a piece for them. And they just been out here in the shed. Now, how these quivers are made to work on a bow, they have the little bracket here to where you can just conveniently have that on your bow and slide this in there and lock it in place, and then you can remove it real simple by giving it a twist and taking it out. Now, I started out trying to use this piece, but I didn't like the way it looked, plus it made the quiver offset. It wasn't centered with my bow. So I done away with this piece on this little bracket right here, guys. On this little bracket right here, I had to undo that Allen screw. And this here's the little deals that clips in on your little quick connector that I was showing you. You'll remove them, you ain't gonna need them. Now, the arrows right here, y'all see where I was saying this quiver's come with 2 rubbers on it. I set it up there and got the length I wanted it and slid that rubber forward. Then I cut these fiberglass rods off. I just used my little mini grinder with a or Dremel tool with a little mini grinding disc. Just sawed them off like cutting arrows off. to get my length to where the rods would fit right in here behind the bracket that your bow's bolted onto the rail with. On the arrows right here, before I removed the other ones, see, you couldn't use the existing holes, plus they too big for these little arrows. So your arrows would be straight, and then you couldn't get your hands in your trigger there to shoot. So you wanted them at an angle. So on the front, they stick in there, and since they had an angle, that holds them tight. And all I did was drill me a hole right through that rubber and just put a slit in there with my knife. Now, yeah, they harder to load because you got to pull them open to get them stuck in there. So Ballista Bat make one. Of course, they would be for small arrows. And I might can come across a rubber that's made for these arrows, because back in the day we shot these small arrows through compounds. And if I find me a rubber made for them, which they probably wouldn't be the right spots anyway. They would be straight, and I need them offset like this. And then on this other one, I cut a notch or drilled a hole in it and cut a slit where I can just stick the arrow in there like that. The thing is, you can remove them real quick and easy, and that's the main thing when you're hunting. As far as loading them, it don't matter if it takes you both hands to load it, as far as my opinion. Let me remove these arrows. Now, I'm not going to take this back apart, but this piece right here, it comes on your bow, and that's your finger guard. It's bolted to your, screwed to your rail with 3 screws, 2 right here and 1 toward the back. Now, I did have to take my Dremel tool with the cutting disc and cut this back part of the rail off, which don't affect anything. But the 2 screws that was holding the rail, the finger guard to the rail, is these little bitty short screws. So you got to have some longer screws, and I just happen to have some, and they just happen to be black. Now, I don't know what size that is, but you can take the screw that comes out of that to Lowe's or Home Depot, and I am going to give you the length of this screw though. You would need 2 screws 1 inch long. Now, when you go to the bracket, it's put on top. Like I said, I removed these screws here, but these holes didn't exactly line up. One of them I had to waller it out. I just used a bigger drill bit so it would line up when I put the screws through there. I went through the finger plate, through this bracket, and screws into the rail. Now, one thing I'm going to go on and warn you, if you get a screw that's over 1 inch long and it sticks inside your rail, your bow ain't going to cock, because your cocking mechanism is running inside the rail. So on this front screw, 1 inch long, because see, it's raised up a little bit because it's sitting on the bracket here that's your string stop. So you really need like a 1 1/8 screw. First I had this longer screw and I put it in there, and that's when I discovered your bow won't cock, because your cocking rail hits it inside the rail. Well, I didn't have a 1 1/8 screw, so what I did, I took a back end of a drill bit and I heated it with a torch, and I melted that plastic to where the head would sink down into this plastic on that finger guard just enough that that screw, I could get it screwed in there to hold it on. Now, I like shooting mine. I don't like the handle up like that. I like it down like that. I might do a little more work on it. Y'all see I cut the back here off with the Dremel tool so it would lay on back, but it's still not laying down flat. I cut a little bit more off and it would lay down. It wouldn't be perfectly straight, but lay down till it touched the rubber on that air quiver there. And there you have it, guys. Now I put this little sling on mine. This is a sling, actually was on the case for binoculars, Nikon binoculars, but it works just right on this little light bow. But y'all can see how good that looks. I mean, it looks factory. And when them arrows at that little bit of angle, see, you got plenty of room to shoot. Nothing's in the way. The arrows can stay right there, even when you hang it on your back to carry it. The arrows ain't gonna be hitting and rubbing and falling off. So it worked out great. Now I'll leave a link in the description below this video on Amazon link of this little aftermarket quiver. So that's all this one is aftermarket. And I think they're about $9 or so. Used to be. But I'm sure I got this one on clearance for less than that. And that's all you'll need other than them little screws. And again, take one of these screws out and take it to the hardware store with you and just get 2 screws, or at least 2 screws 1 inch long, unless you can get one 1 inch and one 1 inch and 1/8. Now I dearly love this little bow. It is so much fun. So much fun. But one thing I changed, if you've seen some of my earlier videos, I had a scope on here, which was a turkey hunting shotgun scope. And it had the crosshair and it had a diamond. And it worked out good because the crosshair would be sighted in dead on at 15 yards and the bottom of the diamond was at 25 yards. But one day I was thinking about this reflex scope, and I remembered I had one on a pistol that I rarely shoot. So I took it off and put it on here, and I dearly love it. It's got 4 different, I can't show y'all. I know you ain't gonna be able to see it. It's got just a little red dot. It's got a dot with a circle around it. Then it's got a dot with 2 slashes above it on both sides, top and bottom, left and right. And then it's got a circle with a dot in the middle with them slashes off the circle like crosshairs. You can change the brightness of the light, and you can change the color from red to green. Now one thing I discovered with my Raven crossbow the other day, used to I loved the green light, but my eyes I guess has changed over the years. And when I turn the green light on, late in the evening, I can still see a deer silhouette good enough you can shoot a deer. If you turn that green light on, even on the dimmest light, it would blind me in the scope. But the red light don't do that. It dims down far enough, and I can still see the shoot late till you can't see the silhouette of the deer walking around. Now I haven't got to shoot a deer with my Raven yet, or this Ballista Bat. I done pressured them so much right here at the house, they don't even come feed at night no more, so now I'm after the coons. But if you getting one of these and you trying to decide which scope you want for this little mini crossbow, you can't go wrong with one of these little cheap reflex lights. I'll leave a link in the description of this one right here. I don't think it's but about $18. And it works well. And I think you'll be very happy with it. For these little bows, you ain't especially shooting at a deer about 15 yards, 20 tops. You don't need to shoot at no deer over 20 for sure. So you don't need magnification or anything. And it's just so great, and throw it up, and your head ain't got to be all down there trying to look evenly through the scope and all that. It's just so quick and easy. But guys, I hope that there helped some of you out. Maybe you got this and want a quiver for your little bow, and Ballista Bat don't sell one. Like I said, maybe they'll see this and say, well, hey, Papaw did make it. He did do what he said. Maybe they'll copycat it, or either come up with something a little bit better. They actually, I told them what they need. They got it where the Picatinny rail goes on the bottom of these, to where you can put accessories on. They need a quiver, basically just like that, that'll mount onto that Picatinny reel. But now you would have to buy the Picatinny reel and the quiver from them in order to mount it. But if I was Ballista Bat and I was building that, that's the way I would go with it. Have one that mounted onto the Picatinny reel. But guys, as always, if you ain't never subscribed to my channel, please reach down there and hit that subscribe button, because you never know what you may see or learn at Papaw's place. I'm all about DIY and stuff and product reviews, and never know what you may see here. But as always, hope y'all have a great day, blessed week, Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year. God bless. See y'all next time.